I'm wondering if you changed your mind. Hi, it's Doug Dane, and too many people struggle in life because they've got a mistaken identity. Life can actually be a lot simpler than what you're making it. If you don't feel confident to succeed, your mistaken identity is probably causing you some problems. And in my book, I explain your mistaken identity and why you make the mistakes that you do. And so here's my daily tip today so you can live better. Make no mistake, you deserve better. People are always throwing the word mindset around. I found that very few people actually understand the mind, let alone actually how to change it. And if you don't change your mind, your life is not going to change. In my book, Mistaken Identity, I break it down into actually three parts. Learn, unlearn, and relearn. So the first thing we got to do is learn what is a mistaken identity, what is ours, how do we get it, and how is it actually controlling the results that you're getting in your life, whatever challenges you're facing or whatever problem you're trying to solve or trying to get ahead and do better, what's actually going on for you. So we need to learn. Everybody has a mistaken identity. You are mistaken about your opinion or your attitude towards yourself or your concept of yourself. You're mistaken in some way, shape, or form. You might be very, very successful, but you're still mistaken. There's still some things from when you were young that are getting in your way. And for some of us, some of you, maybe like me, it's really getting in your way. I mean, I really struggled as a young person. I was really poorly treated as a kid. And of course that showed up and caused me lots of challenges in my life. So we need to learn what that is. You need to, number two, unlearn. And so you need to unlearn all the things that you learned that actually don't work for you. So you learned a bunch of rules, values, biases, prejudice. You had all the adults influencing your parents, your teachers, religious leaders. They had all this stuff being drilled into you. I call it the big con, one of the chapters in my book. And you were just conned into following rules, values, beliefs, bias, prejudice, all this stuff. And you learned to judge. You were judged if you didn't follow those rules and values and stick to those things. And you started judging yourself, and it caused you to get off track. And so we have to unlearn all this. And then thirdly, you have to relearn. And this is where you need to change your mind. And if you don't change your mind, nothing in your life will change. And so we have to understand that how our mind was set, and it was set through our upbringing and through our conditioning and through the way we were treated or mistreated when we were young. So listen, a couple things you need to know. I didn't know this. Your mind, now mind is not a thing, just so we're clear. All right, very people understand how mind works, and they talk about mindset all the time. But you really got to get clear on how mind actually works. So the mind actually directs your brain and nervous system. Okay? And so if you're not really getting the results you want, if you're not thinking clearly, and you can tell if you're not thinking clearly based on how you feel. If you're not thinking clearly and you're not feeling good in your nervous system, it's because you're directing your mind the wrong way. So if you're suffering in any way, shape, or form, you're probably directing your brain and nervous system inappropriately because of the way your mind was set. Now, your mind operates like a machine. I didn't know that. It was proven back in the early 50s and 60s that your mind is a machine. You have a machine. You're the operator, and it operates much like a torpedo. It's actually a built-in guidance system. You've got a built-in automatic goal-seeking machine that you can direct. You direct it with your thinking. Now, it operates by certain rules. There's certain rules you have to operate it properly in order to get where you want to go, navigate to your goals, live the way you want to live, solve your problems, for example. And the bottom line is it's governed. Some of you may understand what's called a governor on government vehicles, on trucks on the highway, on golf carts. They have what's called a governor or a limiter. You can only go so fast. And so the governor on this machine, in terms of how it directs your brain and nervous system, ultimately your behavior, your actions, your results, it's governed by your self-image or your mistaken identity. How do you know if you have a mistaken identity? All you got to do is just take a look at how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your life and how you're feeling in general. That'll give you an idea if you're mistaken or not. So if you are mistaken about yourself, about your potential, or you're stuck in the past because of guilt and resentment, how do you think you're going to perform? All right, so if you have a low opinion of yourself, if you have an inferiority complex, if you don't think you're good enough, if you don't think you're lovable, whatever negative thoughts you have about yourself, towards yourself, and if you're confused about your potential because you believe stuff about yourself that just really isn't true anymore, or you're looking backwards on the past with guilt and resentment because of things that happened to you, or things that you did, mistakes you made. Maybe you're stuck with a victim mentality because of how you were treated and how other people are treating you now. How do you think your mind is going to perform? So if your mind directs your brain and nervous system, it is a machine. It operates by certain rules, and it's a self-image, your opinion of yourself, that runs it. How do you think you're going to perform? If you're having problems with your performance in any area of your life, that's where you need to turn to and take a look at it. So when I say you need to change your mind or nothing's going to change, what I mean is you need to change these things. Number one, you need to change your attitude towards yourself. Your attitude towards yourself is based on the past. It's a reflection of the past. Last week, last month, last year, when you were young, whatever it is, okay? Your attitude towards yourself must change. You might be looking at your current situation, and that governs your attitude towards yourself. So you got to change your opinion of yourself, because that's what's running and governing the machine and directing you. You need to change your mind about the rules, values, and beliefs that were drilled into you. Okay, so your current results is not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of your upbringing and your conditioning, how you were treated when you were young. Number three, you need to change the way that you think. Start following the simple rules that your mind operates with. Now, in my book, I speak about all this, and I lay it out really, really simply. I spent a long time, a better part of my life, trying to figure out what the hell was wrong with me. And then when I started to learn some of the things I'm sharing with you here, I made it way too complicated. It took way too long. I just thought there's no way it could be this simple. And then I discovered that it is. And it took a lot of convincing, because I was so skeptical. And I didn't trust a lot of people. I didn't have a whole lot of faith in myself. And even though everything I was reading and studying and making sense was starting to work, I was still doubtful. And so that's another thing you've got to get past. If you need help with that, I can help you with that. So if you want to learn more about whether you've got a mistaken identity, or learn more about what I'm talking about, click the link in the email that I sent you, or click the link if you're watching the YouTube video. Go there, or go to dougdane.com to my website and download the free ebook to find out if your mistaken identity is getting in your way. You need to change your mind. If you don't, your life will never change. Thank you.